Grayson Rodriguez over 17.5 outs. Today we're backing the Orioles starter to go at least 6 innings, and let me explain why. At first glance today, I really wanted to take Rodriguez over K's, but 6.5 and paying juice just wasn't moving the needle for me. Grayson throws a nice pitching distribution with his fastball, changeup, curveball, cutter, and sinker. Rodriguez is also in the top 83% of the MLB when it comes to his fastball velocity. He's got a really nice K rate, but can sometimes get into trouble with walks. As you can see, his base on ball percentage is in the top 68% of the MLB. The reason Grayson sometimes struggles with walks is because he's trying to get chase balls, and his whiff percentage, that means a lot of his stuff is swing and miss. The reason I like his outs more than his strikeouts is because Minnesota has been absolutely terrible at the plate this season. As you can see over here, Minnesota is the team with the least amount of hits in all of the MLB. So I think that if Grayson is having trouble with his control, he can still manage to keep his pitch count reasonable, getting us through 6 full innings of work. Lastly, on this slide, I do want to mention I got the weather report here. It's going to be a very nice day in Baltimore. There's no chance of rain, and the wind is blowing out to left center, which is probably one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. It is very difficult to leave the park on that side of the yard. Up next, I want to talk about Grayson's stuff a little bit. He has really nice movement on his four-seam fastball. It cuts in and jams right-handed hitters. It moves about a full 12 inches towards right-handed batters and drops 13 inches, whereas the league average for horizontal movement or in on right-handed batters is about 7 inches. So that extra 5 inches of break to jam batters is going to be difficult to overcome for a Minnesota team who's already struggling at the plate. Next up, I want to talk about Grayson and where he likes his pitch locations. As you can see, he can clearly paint the edge of the zone well, throwing 43.8% of his pitches here on the edge of the zone, which is well above the MLB average at 39%. Lastly, I want to talk about Grayson's release point. Grayson, with his mix of pitches, has a pretty consistent release point, and his pitch combination masks what he's throwing well, so I'm not very worried about him tipping pitches. And even if he was tipping pitches, it's not like Minnesota could do much with it because they can't hit the ball. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure you guys get a good look at Grayson's pitcher Plinko from baseballsavant.com. I really like this tool, and Pitcher Plinko does a great job explaining how Grayson works his way through different counts. As you can see at the top of this chart, when Grayson faces a new batter, the count is always 0-0. He has an over 50% tendency to go to his fastball, and the thickness of each black line connecting each different count is how likely Grayson is to end up there. As we can see, it is typical for Rodriguez to be working ahead or in pitcher favorable counts, making quick work of batters, hopefully keeping his pitch count low, and therefore getting us across the line for 6 full innings of work. Once again, we are backing Grayson Rodriguez over 17.5 outs. This line is available at -114 over on BetRivers Sportsbook. Unfortunately, I am limited out over there, and the next best price is -120 over on MGM Sportsbook. Thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you at the window. Best of luck on all your plays. Oaks out. Doses.